on this screening of Seaweed Women, we have two guests to welcome to our question and answer corner. We have Seaweed artist Callie Nurse and Sean Flinn from Climate Action Fife.
Hello Callie, thank you very much for inviting me here and also for sharing the movie with me, Seaweed Women. Had a lot of different themes in it. What would you say the sort of main message of the film was?
Well, it's a good question because, as you say, there are a lot of themes in the film.
Mm-hmm.
I think the main message really is that seaweed is a bit of a hot topic at the minute.
Mm.
People are becoming aware of its value and its importance in the accelerated climate change that we're living in. So it protects coastlines. It also provides an amazing habitat for so much marine life.
Mm.
And it also absorbs carbon dioxide. So the increasing importance of it we wanted to highlight, but we also wanted to look back at our relationship with the natural world.
Mm.
So we started with the 1700s, the kelpers, the women who had to collect seaweed in the west of Scotland just to make a few pennies. Then we went to Victorian times to see, that was the age of discovery and identification, and that was the wonderful Margaret Gatty.
Mm-hmm.
And then we came on to today, and how do we relate to the natural world today, and what should we be doing, and can we change the nature of our relationship, which is very much is where my art comes from.
Yeah, I particularly liked the part about Margaret Gatty, and I sort of really empathised with her. That scene at the beach where she's being kind of mocked and ridiculed by the members of the public who are seeing her, doing her science there on the beach, doing her research down on the beach. And I sort of sympathise with that from my experience, also doing field work and interactions I've had with members of the public. Even when we're doing things with the young people like beach cleans and citizen science projects, there's the sort of conversations we have with members of the public, and a lot of it can be quite positive, but a lot of it can also have that sort of mocking sort of aspect to it. I also sort of that scene afterwards where she's desperately trying to finish her work and finish her legacy before she succumbs to her illness. I thought that was a very emotive scene.
Oh, right, that's such interesting feedback actually, especially as it's based on your personal experience. It's funny, when I started working with seaweed as an artist a couple of years ago, friends and families just said to me, ugh, why are you working with that stuff? Doesn't it stink your house out? And isn't it awfully slimy? So there are still these misconceptions, if you like, about seaweed, and maybe not giving it the respect and the understanding that it really deserves. Mm-hmm. So there I really identify with Margaret Gatty, because I want to show people, it's amazing stuff, Yeah. Just look at it, look at the textures, the colours, the varieties, and that's where I get very excited. So it's quite interesting that even today, over 100 years later, in fact nearly 200, we still have this kind of slight ooh with washed up seaweed.
Yeah. I have to ask about the sort of final scene, the quite ominous final scene with the dead bodies. Is that sort of a warning about ocean acidification and rising sea temperatures and invasive seaweed species increasing toxins in the water, and or something like that?
Yeah, it is. I mean, because it's a film, we wanted to introduce a certain sense of drama, not just make it sort of a documentary, but make it kind of intriguing and interesting. And you're absolutely right. I mean, that there is now a sense of urgency about things. So we've dated that scene into the future, but not far off, 2035, which is our net zero target for Scotland. And it wasn't about finding out, it's not a whodunit. It's more to suggest that if we don't change the way we treat the natural world, things are bad and things are going to get worse. And so we wanted to just put that sort of quite dramatic question at the end of the film.
And what would you say to people who want to make a difference? How would you recommend that they make a difference?
I think the simplest thing you can do is pick up plastic. Every time I go to the beach to get seaweed, I have another bag, and it's invariably got plastic bottles, bits of food, cartons and stuff like that, cans, drink cans, fizzy drink cans, and I just pick it up automatically. It's one of the easiest things you can do, and now there's beach cleans. They're organised all around the country, so it's quite a fun day out at the beach.
Yeah, absolutely. And that sort of when you do a beach clean, that sense of a community and shared goal of doing something for climate, to make that sort of climate action for the environment. I think that's quite a good experience. Also, I guess Seaweed Search as well, which is another sort of citizen science project run by Marine Conservation Society and the Natural History Museum, and that's another activity that young people and people who are worried about the environment can get together and do something for the environment, do something positive and feel like you're making a difference.
Absolutely. I think it's a great thing to do. That's why we mentioned it in the film, the big seaweed search. And, it just opens people's eyes to the wonder of seaweed. So I'll see you at the beach.
See you at the beach.
Thank you so much for that amazing interview. I'll be making sure I look out for plastic on the beach from now on. Thank you to Callie Nurse and Sean Flinn from Climate Action Fife.